Good job. Yes. Woo. Now that we have our blood circulating, we're warmed up, we're ready to roll. Good morning. Good morning. So good to be here with everyone. If anyone's new to us or fairly new to us on the Care Circle Sunday, welcome. I don't know if we have anyone new. Okay. All right. Well, as y'all know, this is our workshop weekend called Care Circle, where we get to play together, laugh together, sometimes maybe cry together. You know, we just never know what's going to come up in these circles, and that's the beauty of them. That is that we get to work together, and that's what the beauty of community does. It brings us closer, where we get to open and start to do some healing work. And so, I'm not trying to scare you off, but you're in the perfect right place at the perfect right time. That's what I say about that, okay? As we're just getting all of our seating situated on Sundays, it's always good to come to the front, circles, fill them up in the front of the room, so that way we can have all these circles up front filled. So thank you, Max, for taking care of that. All right, let me just start with a prayer here. We're just going to know right here and right now that the presence of God is all that there is and all that there ever will be. There is no spot where God is not. So we're going to breathe that in. Just feel that. The presence of God is everywhere in its entirety. And knowing that that moves and has its beingness within each and every one of us here today. And that because of that presence, because of that oneness, I know that this time together is divine. I know that it is peaceful, like that peace beyond human understanding resides within each and every one of us. We know that it is healing, and we know that it is joy-filled. And as we come together with the intention of love and light and community. And I accept this now. I know this is true, and for that I am so grateful. And I release this prayer knowing that it is done as we say together. And so it is, and so it is. So we're just grounded down right now. Good. All right. So let's start with just some logistics. As you know, our parking lot is, just put a card on your car if you're parked behind somebody, so that way we know to call you to let them go, or not. Don't let them go. Make them stay a little longer. It's all spiritual practice. No, I'm just kidding. No. Just put your name and number on the card in your car so we can contact you. All right. Community announcements. I'm going to go through these fast because we have a lot going on, but I want to get into our Care Circle play today. So just to let you know, I'm being raffled off. If you want to have lunch, with me, join the raffle. $10 a ticket. See Janice for tickets. You did that? Awesome. Good. And drawing is next Sunday, so that will be when the raffle winner will be announced, and we get to go have lunch, and that'll be really nice. Okay. I'd love to go to lunch with all of y'all, but this is a great fun and fundraiser for our center here today, so that'll be really nice. And winner need not be present. So also what's coming up is our Manifest More Money. Have you signed up for this class yet? I'm so excited. You go, Lorraine. Okay, so that's starting this Wednesday. And if you are just wanting to expand your consciousness around money, money is God. If God is in everything, then money is in God too. Yes? Did you ever think about that? Because sometimes spirituality and money, people want to separate it. And because why? Because we have lots of stories around money. Sometimes there's shame around money. So we're going to just open up to a whole new relationship to money and God as money. Yes.
I've started the affirmations from the class, and money's already rolling in.
Without even the class even starting, there's billions of dollars all around us, and some are better than others at accessing it. Would you not say? Some are, and there's no right or wrong, right? There's no right or wrong. But if one person has access to it, then why don't I? Why can't I? And so let's just open up to that, to a place of a whole new monetary freedom for ourselves. And I'm ready to let go of the shame, any shame conversations that you may have about money. So I say amen to that. That's starting this Wednesday. Sign-ups are online or on the website. And if you really want to double down and take this Exploring Roots class, you're going to be a whole new person by August, okay? You're just going to be like unrecognizable, okay? So this Exploring Roots class talks about Ernest Holmes, our Science of Mind founder. It's his teachers who he learned from. And so this class is on Tuesday nights on Zoom from 6:30 to 9 p.m. with the amazing Jeff Schlick. If you haven't experienced Jeff as a teacher yet, highly recommend him as an amazing teacher. And there are prerequisites. You will have need to take one of our foundational classes. So spiritual practices and principles, change your thinking, change your life. Those are a prerequisite to take this Exploring Roots class. Once again, sign up on the newsletter or online. And the amazing Florette is leading us in our Soul Sisters open discussion group. However, it is not the first Saturday of the month. Why? Because it's the 4th of July. So we've moved that to July 11th. So if you do participate in the Zoom discussion group, it will be on July 11th on Zoom. And if you want to be more a part and support Florette, she would love some support for that Saturday class to be a co-facilitator. So if your heart calls for that, see Florette. And then Dez's African drumming class is the first Sunday of each month. So that'll be next Sunday, the 5th. So you can show up to the youth room. There'll be a QR code, so you can scan the QR code to make a donation. And we are trying to go cashless. We understand not everybody does QR codes, I understand, but if we can, we're trying to go cashless. So please use the QR code if you're paying the day of, or it's in the newsletter or the website. All right, and that's a fun class. That's so much healing happens in our drum circles. And then next Sunday, once again, it's going to be a busy Sunday. It's our potluck. And if you haven't seen this sign bouncing around, that we need sign-ups for you to bring your favorite dish to eat, okay? So we appreciate all of the food that comes to us on our potluck. Another abundance, manifestation is Potluck Sunday, when we have so much food. And so we appreciate everyone who brings a dish, and we appreciate everyone who helps clean up as well. So thank you for in advance for anyone who's bringing a dish on Potluck Sunday. All right, so that's our announcements. A lot of good stuff happening, a lot of opportunities. And let's go on to our care circle activities. So let's all take a breath right now. And if you are a facilitator in your group, please raise your hand so that everyone knows who your facilitator is. Okay, great. And good. You're a facilitator? Thank you. Okay, so right now we're going to go around into your groups and discuss what is a word of good for today. What is something good that in a very short, succinct word or two, please share with your group what is your word of good for today. Good. Okay. Thank you. And once you've made it through your circle, just let me know. Raise your hand. Facilitators. Fabulous. You're good? Okay. Very good. Let's collectively take a breath right here. And now we're going to move into our heaviness of heart or hardness of head. So if there's anything heavy on your heart right now that you would just like prayer for, this is the time to share it with your facilitator. And that way we can do a collective group prayer. That is a powerful way that we do this in Care Circle. It's a collective prayer. So share within your group. Please share succinctly something that you would like prayer for if there's something heavy on your heart. And then April will be leading us in prayer today. I think there's two right here. There's one right here. Is someone sitting here? No, okay. Okay. Oh, she's got it. Okay. And then when your group is done, if the facilitator could just let me know. Yes, thank you.
Hello.
It's on.
Okay, if we're already in our groups,
Let's
I
just
think-
make sure. If you're complete, please raise your hand, facilitator. Okay, very good.
excellent.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I just invite everyone to come into center. Come into the awareness of the one spirit, one life, one God. We know that God is all there is. And we recognize that each of us are a divine expression of that one spirit. And as we speak our word today, we speak this word in truth, knowing and acknowledging that God's love, God's presence, God's peace is the truth that we all are. And We speak our word, knowing that it is the truth and that we are one with Spirit. And at this time, I pass this prayer to Marjorie.
We affirm peace in the Middle East and the world. We affirm healing, peace, and acceptance for relatives or friends dealing with health issues. And we speak our affirmation of peace, clarity, and acceptance dealing with death with family or friends.
And with reverence, we pass this prayer to Valerie.
And so just continuing in this consciousness of oneness. Oh, I affirm and know that a prayer for one is a prayer for all. And so we just release any angst, worry, stuff, story around resistance to systems of domination. And we fully and completely embrace and accept that collaboration is happening, cooperation is happening, togetherness is happening. We affirm a triple dose of health and wholeness, just knowing that health and vibrancy and wholeness is permeating in, through, and as our body temples right here and right now. And we affirm restored hearing. And in relationship, we just know that there is only God speaking to God, God hearing God, God knowing God, that in this communication that is happening in relationship, we just know that resistance is being released right here and right now, and that there is only one activity that is happening. It is the activity of love, the full expression of being known, felt, heard, witnessed. And so we just give thanks for the power of prayer, and we pass this prayer.
With sacred reverence, we pass this prayer to Ian.
We affirm health, both in our bodies and in the bodies of our family members. We also affirm and claim the wisdom to find out the right health practitioners, the wisdom to know what is to be accepted and what is to be let go, to live in ease, to trust spirit and release the things that are not ours to control, knowing that growth is going to happen at the right time.
And with reverence, we pass this prayer to Lorraine.
Thank you. Group 4 releases suffering. Group 4 releases arguing with reality. Group 4 surrenders and allows themselves to receive love and humanity and goodness and purpose despite the losses.
And we pass this prayer to Rachel.
For group 1, I accept and affirm total open-ended acceptance, clarity around open-hearted communication, for support in relationship issues, and knowing fullness and wholeness and acceptance of the highest level of physical health.
And April, if I can add on one more thing, I just want to also send prayer to those who have lost their lives in Venezuela and the major earthquakes that have occurred over there, just knowing that the families and all involved are covered with the light of God. Health, wholeness, and peace are where they are at this time.
And at this time, we give thanks, knowing that our prayers are answered. that we are open, receptive, and accepting of God's divine blessings. And we release this prayer knowing that God takes care of it all. And we say, thank you, God. Thank you, life. And we let go. And so it is.
So it is. So it is. Let's just sit in that beautiful energy for a moment. This beautiful divine energy created by our collective consciousness in prayer. Good. Let's take a breath in and let it all out. And thank you, April, for that beautiful prayer. Thank you. Okay. We are a powerful group. It was a palpable energy that was created here this morning. So let's do a little bit before we go into our discussion on authenticity and what it is to be free to be me. Let's talk about the covenants of Care Circle. So if you're new or newer to our Care Circle, we like to set a container that's safe for authentic and vulnerable sharing. And so these are the covenants that we discuss, that we hold during this time. So I agree to listen and be present and try not to fix or give advice. I share using I feel and I experience. I do not use we or you should. We don't point in that direction. I agree to bring my best love and attention to whatever or whomever is before me, and including and especially myself. So it's easy to get distracted in our circles. So we're trying to bring our best love and attention to what's happening. I agree to practice non-judgment to the best of my ability. And I agree to love and accept myself and others just as they are and just as they are not. And I agree to stay in the present moment, the now moment of power, to the best of our ability. And I use my guide if it is loving, if it grows, expands, or deepens love, it is the right thing to do. Do I have your agreement on the covenants to hold space for each and every one of us? Okay, very good. Thank you. And then this is also a practice of listening. So, listening is a great muscle for us to build so that we can take it out into the world. So when you are sharing, whether it be as a dyad partner or just listening to someone share, please just listen the way you would like to be listened to. So nodding your head, having gentle, soft eye contact, just letting a person know that you are with them. And if your mind wanders, because it will, you just come back. You just come back. It's like, oh, bring my attention back. I'm paying attention to what's happening right now in the room. So it's a mindfulness practice. Listening is a mindfulness practice. Because the mind likes to wander, we just bring it back to the now moment. Okay, does that sound like a good practice? All right. Okay. Let's go into authenticity. Yes. So let me talk a little bit about what authenticity is not. Okay. So perhaps you've heard someone say, well, I'm just speaking my truth, right? And so what the impact sometimes is harm, right? So authenticity is not speaking your truth that causes harm. Okay, it's finding a way to speak your truth in a way that can be received. So that's one thing that authenticity is not. I know this doesn't sound very ministerial, but authenticity is not vomiting all over everyone. This is just who I am, and you're just gonna have to get over it. That's not what I'm saying authenticity is. Authenticity is about finding and discovering who you are, and sharing it with the world, sharing it and learning to be comfortable with that. That's the journey, learning to be comfortable with who you are and what your values are, what's important to you, and saying yes to that which you want to say yes to, and saying no to that which you want to say no to. See? So that's the practice right there. And why should we practice? Why should we practice authenticity? Can't I just pretend, for God's sakes? And just like, just put up my facade and, sometimes there's days, but here's why. Here's why. Here's a quote. This is from the law itself. And the law says, when you live hesitantly and unsure of yourself, you will attract people who are critical and of you and reinforce your insecurity. Because that's the way the universe works, right? When you live open and accepting of who you are, you will attract people who are open and accepting. So this is a great reason why to practice authenticity. Does this mean we're practicing authenticity 100% of the time, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day? Probably not. But there will be times where you'll have choice, where you're going to have choice as to what you choose to say or be or do or dress, or you'll have choice. And those are the choices, those are the moments of authenticity that we're talking about, okay? So it's not a personality trait, okay? This is not a personality trait that you're going to find on your Enneagram or any of those types of personality tests, okay? It's a daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are in this now moment, and then in the next now moment. And could it have changed? Like from this now moment to this now moment, who you are could change. And we talked, I remember last week when Reverend Bobby was here, and we talked about how relationships over time change because we change. Right? So can we embrace the changes in ourselves, which help us to embrace the changes in others as others live their authenticity as well? So this could be our family members, this could be our spouse, it could be, whoever you interact with on a daily basis. How well are you accepting their new version of their authentic self? How well are you at that? How is that the correct grammar? How well are you at that? I don't think that's correct grammar. How good? So, how do you get better at that? Is by how do I accept that within my own self and my changes. And this could be your own personal changes. It can be your physical changes. It can be mental changes. How well are you at accepting the changes that happen within you? What used to be important to you may not be important to you anymore. And your loved ones were like, well, wait a minute, that used to be important to you. And you're realizing, but it's not. How do you navigate that and the upset that might come with that, right? Sometimes people like us predictable. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. So it's a daily practice, as Brene Brown says. And I'll have a lot of Brene Brown quotes in here because she does talk a lot about vulnerability. She's a vulnerability coach. And authenticity requires vulnerability. Being yourself requires vulnerability. And so we are hardwired for connection and we are hardwired for protection. Go figure. That's just not fair, right? That's just not fair. Wah! Because we so desire connection, but yet connection is so vulnerable, is it not? So then our nervous system says, keep myself safe. We are hardwired to keep ourselves safe, and that's the protection part. And we are very, very good at learning, what do I need to do to keep myself safe? Sometimes that's how we roam through life. Is this safe? Is this unsafe? Are they safe? Are they unsafe? Is the situation safe? And all of that is based on programming in our nervous system. Because what might be happening and we discern as unsafe, Rachel might be watching the same exact situation and feel there's nothing unsafe about this. I'm fine, right? Why? Because we're wired differently, right? We're wired differently. So that's the honoring of others' journeys as well. That's the honoring of another person's experience and their authenticity and their ability to share that with you. Even though I cannot see Rachel's perspective, I can honor her perspective because it's real for her. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Okay, very good, very good. Okay, so how do we tell if we're being authentic or inauthentic? Isn't that like a great question? Is this really the truth about me in this moment? Well, I will tell you, the body never lies. The body tells the truth. Your mind sometimes gets jumbled up and you start second guessing yourself and wait a minute, is this right? Is this right? You start doubting the mind. But if you listen to your body, if you listen to the responses, when you slow down, the body will share with you. And then the practice is to learn to trust that. To learn to trust what the body is sharing with you. So we're going to start with a short reflection. I'd like to make sure everyone has paper and pen or pencil so that we can just check in with our body and see how it's doing. We did that this morning with dance. That's always a good way to check in with your body, is through a little bit of dance. But go ahead and close your eyes. Have your pen and paper handy. And I want you to just close your eyes and just know that this is a safe place. It's just you and your paper and your pen, and you're connecting with your breath. And I want you to think of a time. It could be when you were younger, it could be recent. I want you to think of a time when you were not your authentic self. Maybe it was at work and a relationship. Maybe it was a one-time event where you said yes, where you meant to say no, or where you went along with something that you didn't feel true to you, or where you hid a part of yourself to fit in or to keep the peace. So I want you to remember a time when you were not your authentic self. And let that moment come into focus. Don't force it. Just let it rise to the surface. And as you're watching that, as if you were watching a movie or maybe you're seeing a snapshot, as you're watching that, tune into your body. Is there tightness anywhere? Has your breath become more shallow? Is there a heaviness? What is going on in your body? Just notice it. No judgment. Just let it be there. Just observing without judgment. Just scanning your body and just noticing. And let's take a deep breath in. Let it all go. Let that picture go. Let that vision go. Let the exhale out. And then now, I'd like you, we're going to switch gears and think of a time when you were authentic. A moment when you spoke up for yourself. You told the truth. You showed up fully, making a choice that was completely in alignment with who you are, even if it was hard, even if it cost you something. I want you to take a snapshot or maybe a video snippet of that moment when you were completely your authentic self. So as you observe this snippet of time, I want you to now observe what's happening in your body. What are you feeling? Is there any addition? Do you feel openness? Just scan your body without judgment, without analyzing it, just noticing. And then taking another deep breath in. And I want you to take a moment to write down what were the feelings in your body when you were inauthentic. Just jot down a few words. And what were the feelings in your body when you were authentic? So just write those down for your own reference. All right. Set my clock here. And just take about 30 more seconds to just write down what feelings came up for you in your body when you were inauthentic and when you were authentic. All right, let's take a deep breath in. Let it all go. So good. So what I want us to do is I want us to do a dyad, and you don't have to share every single detail of what the picture was, what the vision was, but what I'd like for you to share is what came up for you. Like, what did you learn as a result of this practice of looking at, of checking in with your body and feeling the different feelings that came up in your body? What did you learn from this practice? And so turn to a dyad partner next to you. We'll have 1 minute each to share. What did you learn from this practice? And once again, you can share as deeply as you want. This is our warm-up dyad, okay? Remember, those who are listening, no advice, no fixing. If you are the listening partner, just listen. What came up for you in that reflection? Okay, if you haven't switched already, go ahead and switch. Have your partner share what came up for them as a result of this reflection. All right. And start to bring your shares to a close. I know, so much excitement in the room. All right, let's bring those shares to a close now. Just one more minute. Okay. Requests for one more minute. So let's just start to bring your shares to a close. All right. So we're going to take a deep breath here. Slowly exhale, become present to the front of the room. Good, good. All right. So we got to experience the cost, right? The cost of being inauthentic. We get to actually experience that cost in our body, yes? What that feels like, that constriction, that tightness, that uneasiness, the cost of inauthenticity. Had you ever thought about that before? Have you ever correlated those before, inauthenticity with that constriction in your body? Some yeses, some nos. Yes. Expensive, super expensive. Thank you. Super expensive. The good news is that, and the good news is that the gift of authenticity, we have easy access to that as well. The openness, the warmth, the expansion, and the relief. So that's what we want to talk about because, as we said, authenticity has a cost. Most of us have been paying the cost of inauthenticity for so long that we've stopped noticing. We don't even notice. It's kind of like when you drive down the freeway and you get to your exit and you don't even know how you got there. Like we've gone unconscious a bit. So we've gone unconscious a bit. If we have been practicing inauthenticity for a long time, we have gone on unconscious about it. We're not aware that we're even doing it because it's become who we are. No judgment, right? Just a protective mechanism to keep us safe. So the important part is the no judgment part, okay? Because we, like I said, we're wired to keep ourselves safe. So why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we do those things to keep us safe? And so the things that authenticity requires, number one, is to know yourself. You cannot show the world who you are if you are living someone else's version of yourself. Do you ever hear your mother or your father come out of your mouth? Yes. It's like, where did that come from? So, it's because it's once again unconscious, because why wouldn't it be? We grew up in the environment that we grew up in when our nervous system was so susceptible to influence as a younger child. Why wouldn't we get programmed and conditioned? It's just the nature of being human. So now we get to unprogram and, release some of that unknown conditioning that we have, and owning our story and loving ourselves through that process is the bravest thing we'll ever do. It's like it's detaching from from that conditioning. It's still, I'm trying to think of, some people say the matrix, it's just like detaching from the way you think you're supposed to be into the way that truly you want to be in this world. And sometimes will that be uncomfortable? It could be. But one of the questions you want to ask yourself is, what do I really want? The world tells us, go get a job, go get married, go have kids, go have grandkids. The world gives us this pattern, does it not? And we go follow the pattern because that's our conditioning. But if you step out of that, what do you really want? It's not too late, in case some of you are saying it's too late. Never too late. What do you really want? I want you to write that down. What do you really want? Like, if you could have anything, any way, despite what the world tells you you can or cannot have, what would you want? It's really even hard to grasp, is it not? It's like, wow. And the limiting mind that wants to keep you safe would say, oh, you can't have that. That's too big. That's not right. You're too this, you're too that. So all of that influence is the soup that we're swimming in, okay? So what do you want? So write down a few things. Okay. Good. Yes. Yes. Thank you. Let me bring that to you.
Just to clarify,
Uh-huh.
do you mean what do we want in terms of things that we may honestly know we have been withholding, or what do we want pie in the sky from an open-hearted point of view? I mean, some of that may be the same, but I need some clarity.
It is to a degree. It's the same because we've been holding back that pie in the sky mentality so that we can fit in. And so what do we want? Maybe it's, I don't want to fit in anymore. And so then the pie in the sky mentality is as possible. You know what I mean? So it's both. It's this and. So what do I want as far as how I want to live my life? I want to live my life free to be me. I want to be accepted wherever I go. So those are things that I want. And I want to have whatever, mansion on the hill, or I want to be financially free, or I want to travel around the world, So it's all connected. Because one influences the foundation is the freedom to be me influences the exterior. Yes. Good. Write it all down. Don't hold back. And just know that this is a never-ending list. You can add on to it anytime you want. Put it up on your bathroom mirror. Put it up where you can see it every day. Put it on Post-its. Put it in bold. This is what I want. Okay. And then number 2 steps to authenticity is your willingness to be seen. This one gets a little prickly, right? The willingness to be seen for who you are, fully expressed in this world. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity. When you let people see the real you, they might not like what they find, right? Isn't that like a risk? Is that a risk that there's a possibility that you may not be accepted if you are fully expressing yourself? And so therefore we put our armor on and hold back. And sometimes when we do that, it can feel a little lonely. Maybe a little lonely, if anyone is feeling that. And of course, this is not recklessly, I'm going to be me in a reckless way, right? It's choosing me moment by moment by moment. So the armor that we wear keeps us safe. And how are you, so let's reverse this, how are you at seeing and accepting others who are expressing their authenticity? How are you at opening to someone who may be different, but is fully expressing themselves? How well do you receive them? It's a reflection of how well you receive yourself in your own authenticity. See the practice? Yeah. Because I know there could be someone that you're like, whoa, hang on. Because why? Because I feel unsafe. So that's where the practice begins. Where do you start to feel unsafe? Where does your nervous system say, oh, hang on? That's your learning edge. That's your learning edge. One of our principles here is a principle of oneness. Ooh, you'll hear me say this over and over. That is not a practice for the faint of heart. Yeah? When we are practicing oneness, that we are one with everything and everyone. And then someone brings us to our fear edge, right? So we breathe that in. We breathe that fear edge in and open to what is possible. And once again, I'm not saying you put yourself in anything unsafe or allow behavior that is not okay or any reckless behavior. I'm not saying any of that. But you know what makes you uncomfortable. And number 3, here's the edge right here, working with disapproval. I remember when my mom, when she was, I don't know, she must have been 65 or 70 in that age group. And she said, I want to take a trip around the world. And I'm going by myself. And I was like, what? And I'm taking a loan out on my condo. I know I was going to leave you the money, but that's my money and I'm going on a cruise around the world. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, it's your money, live your life. But I could feel my apprehension in my body, like, oh my God, is my mom going to be safe? And all my stuff. She had no fear. She had no fear about doing this. She was gone. She was going, and that's all there was to it. It was my stuff that I was putting onto her. She's going to be fierce. She's going to be by herself. There's so many diseases I'm a nurse, right? So many diseases all around the world. She's going to catch some incurable, blah, 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 blah. And she was gone for, I think, 6 months on the Queenie 2 on a cruise and all the little continents all over the place. And I came and picked her up from the airport, and she had her Crocodile Dundee hat on and her... a wooden giraffe about 6 feet tall and her suede Crocodile Dundee coat on with fur. And I'm going to cry just talking about that. Because she was living her true self, right? She was being an example to me about how to live fully. Didn't care about her kids, not that she didn't care about her kids, right? She cared about us. She asked us, if we were okay with it. But I was like, go, right? Just go. That was your hard-earned money that you worked for. Just go. And so we can see how we can help others set themselves free when we can live in our own authenticity. We can help others live theirs. And so she's helped me to live my own, and I helped her to live her own. Because she just went, and she did it. And it's amazing, the pictures. And I'm serious, when I saw my little Crocodile Dundee mom sitting there at the airport with her giraffe. It was a sight I'll never forget. But, we have all this stuff, around how we're supposed to be for our parents and our parents for our kids and all of that program. So if we can stop and pause and say, hang on a second, is this mine? Is this really my truth, or is this conditioning that's been handed down to me? We got to be still and listen. because that's how we set ourselves free, when we can be still and listen and say, hey, this is not mine. When she told me she wanted to do that, I could feel all my stuff around it, but I wasn't going to I shared some of it with her, but not in a way that was going to stop her. I just shared what, my concerns about her going around the world by herself on this cruise ship. But it's a cruise ship, just totally taken care of. But that was my stuff, and I got to look, not purge it onto her in a way that maybe could have influenced her. You know what I mean? The last thing I would want is for her to not go on the cruise because of my fears, right? That's not how I want her to live her life, nor me. So, that's just an example of how, when we live authentically, how it starts to create a domino effect in the people around us, right? When one person's set free, it sets the domino, and everybody gets to say, "Oh, they're happy, they're joyful, they're living their self, and oh, I can do that too." Can it be, when are we risking the disapproval of others? Sure. Sure. Can we get over it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can. We can. You don't have to do it by yourself. You grab one of us. You say, come on, I'm going to go get disapproved of. Will you come with me? Sure. I'll be right there. Please. If it's you stepping into your greater self, yes, do it. Grab somebody with you to hold your hand, because sometimes it doesn't feel good. Be willing to disappoint people rather than to disappoint yourself. How many times have you disappointed yourself when you haven't spoke up? You did not speak your no when you wanted to say no, and then you saw the outcome of you not saying your no, and you're like, oh God, I wish I would said my truth, right? You're like, ugh. And then that armor starts to come up of constriction and should-haves and all of that stuff. Yes? So when we live authentically, not everyone is going to love it. And sometimes we're not either. It's so edgy. Like sometimes you can feel the edges of your skin just vibrating because you're taking that risky step. Just feel it all. That's what we're here for. We're here to feel. We're feeling people. Feel it. And just know that this is the next step to your greater expression on this, what you came here to express, to be on this earth. We are spiritual beings that were brought here to be free and express our gifts and our talents on this earth. And yes, it's going to make us uncomfortable, but yes, we're going to be so much greater for it. And this world will be so much greater for it. The world, when we give our gifts, will be so much greater, and as your world, because it's a reflection. And we need more of that in this world. Just saying. Okay. Authenticity requires the courage to release inherited beliefs, and consciously choose those that reflect our true spiritual nature. So when you wrote down on your papers what is important to me, that's your true spiritual nature. That's what you want. That's what your soul wants. That's what's important to you, that you want to work for, to live from. Right? Yes, I say yes to that. Okay. How do I lean into the discomfort that comes with authenticity? Great question, right? Science of Mind teaches us that every time we move toward a greater expression of truth, our old conditioning will push back. Ernest Holmes would say we encounter the human race consciousness, the soup that we swim in. The collective beliefs we've inherited about belonging, worthiness, and safety. All of those will come up. And that's why a lot of people will choose not to live in the world of authenticity, because when all those start pushing back, it's like, oh, it's so much easier just to play safe and put that armor up. And I'll say yes sometimes. I've had that experience, yes. So once again, no judgment, it's just a practice. Yes, and I saw that deep breath, Diana. So if you're taking a deep breath, everybody needs to take a deep breath right now. Come on, everybody breathe here. Because we're talking about moving outside of the boundaries that were put upon us. This is not, once again, not for the faint of heart, but y'all are in the room. So I think that you signed up for this. Right? And I know right now in your head, there's a couple people in mind that you're thinking of, like, oh boy, they're not going to like it if I do that. Anybody having those thoughts? Oh, they're not going to like it. Yeah, you're right. They probably aren't. Is that yours? Mm-mm. Does it sometimes you might get the backlash of it? Well, then you just walk away, grab somebody, because that you can't control. This you can't control. This you can control. Okay? So you take the baby steps, unless you're like, not Crocodile Dundee, it's in my head. The guy from steps off on the ledge that there's no Harrison Ford, thank you. Harrison Ford. Indiana Jones, he steps out there, unless you have that Indiana Jones mentality, which I kind of sometimes have been known to have. But you just step out there and do, and jump, or you take baby steps. You do what you know you and your nervous system can handle. Okay. I'll never tell you to do something you're not ready for. Okay. And we're out not very often are we ready for uncomfortableness and the backlash of someone. No one's ever ready for that. But this is what's kept us small. This is what's kept us small, not wanting to face what living your authenticity looks like. So it's just an invitation. And there's no judgment if you say, oh, I'm not ready yet. This is like too much. I don't think I can handle this. I understand. But we're just cracking open the door, right? We're cracking open the door to the vision of what's possible for each and every one of us to set our own selves free. And I just have this vision of all of y'all with your Crocodile Dundee hats and your Crocodile Dundee jackets and your 7-foot giraffe, okay? Living your true life. Really, really. So we're going to do another writing practice, okay? The anatomy of authenticity. Belonging so fully to yourself that you trade in the experience of fitting in. It feels good to fit in, doesn't it? Just like, I'm safe here. But if we're fitting into places that aren't good for us, then we're making ourselves small. We're playing small. So go ahead and just get your paper and your pen ready. And I want you to choose one of these prompts that I'm going to, let's see, on the next slide. Choose one of these prompts and go with the first one that makes you a little bit uncomfortable. Okay? These are your writing prompts that I want you to answer. Just pick one. Where in my life am I performing instead of living? What is it that I'm afraid people would see if I showed up fully myself? And what version of me am I protecting people from? And what would happen if I let that version out? So which one of those makes you a little uncomfortable? Choose that and write about 3 to 5 sentences on so that you can start to learn about yourself. You can start learning what is it that is having me play small in the world? What is it that's holding me back? And I'll check in with you in 3 minutes, see how you're doing, and see if you need more time. How are we doing? Does anybody need about 30 more seconds? We're good. Okay. Good. So I'm going to invite two people to share at the mic here. Now, you don't have to share specifically about what you wrote, but maybe more about what you learned. So if anyone, I'd like two people to share about what did I learn from this writing prompt? What did I learn about myself? And like I said, you don't have to share the specifics, but just more about your journey, about what you're living. Chuck. Excuse me.
Well, I'm going to comment on, well, actually, the 1 and 2 are relevant in my self assessment. What I came up with is that I have to respect my boundaries. And as as I respect other people's boundaries, and I have to, I believe, I have to say no when I'm not comfortable in complying with someone else's request, and it's being not always. I wrote down I'm not always being a people pleaser, and I'm becoming. I think I'm becoming less of a people pleaser as I get more grounded in my own self worth and self acceptance, and not always feeling vulnerable when I am interacting with people and respecting my boundaries by saying doesn't seem to fit right for me at this time, and just having the courage of saying no, like I must, like I respect who I am, and that I'm okay with it, that I'm not going to beat myself up because I'm be self-supportive.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you. Yes. Anyone else? Yes. Oh, I'm going to come right in, Marjorie.
I grew up with a mother that said, if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. I was basically trained to be a people pleaser. And in easy times, I had a group of people I've been having lunch with for over 40 years. And one of them came in and said, well, she was overweight, okay? She came in this really bright outfit, and she said, how does it look? And all of us were kind of like really quiet. And I said, well, I really like the colors. And so everybody else chimed in. We really like the colors. She figured out that we were not being honest and tell me the truth. And why? That's when I get stopped. It would have been so easy to say, I like it, but it's not real flattering for you. So easy. But thinking of that at the time is tougher than tough. And if it's my husband, ooh, then I get really triggered. I got really triggered one time, and I made a mistake, and I apologized for making this mistake, and he kept repeating over and over again how I made that mistake and how that was okay, but it didn't feel okay having it come up. So I finally said, you're right, it's all my fault, and I rushed off. I was in a class, and when I shared that experience in class, she said, would you be willing to talk to your husband and tell him what you really felt? And I wanted to say no so bad. But here I am in class, and, I'm a practitioner. So I said yes. And you know what? When I came up and we were both calm, I apologized. And he said, I really did talk about it too much. And what I learned, if I can just take a deep breath, a pause, and stop that dyad, because what he'd say, then I'd start getting defensive, and it just doesn't work. And if I could have stopped that earlier and still just kind of let it go until I could really be calm, and we could both be calm, and it was beautiful, but it is not easy.
Yes. For the sake of time, I have to move on. So sorry. Yes. Okay, I don't need two microphones. Okay. Yes. So very good. And I think we all have that people pleaser in us, within us. We all have a little bit about that characteristic in us as well. So we honor that, which comes to the next step is compassion for the one who is inauthentic. Right? Because because some of this program is deep seated, we're always doing the best that we can do. We're always doing the best. And right now, what my intention is to bring awareness to the times that we're inauthentic so that we can have compassion for ourselves for the times that we're inauthentic. Because it's a task, it's a lifelong task to break through this conditioning. And so that's why compassion is so important. So we're going to do one more writing activity here. Lots of writing today so that we can get into the internal part of us here. So let's all take a deep breath in. Okay, so we're going to first write 3 to 5 sentences to the least authentic part of you. The one who performed, the one who hid, the one who shrunk, the one who just wanted to get along. Everybody just get along. And this is to the least authentic self. And you're going to start this letter out with the first sentence. And the first sentence is, "Thank you for keeping me safe." When, and then you fill out the when part. That time that you are inauthentic, or the times, if you want to specifically name. So thank you for keeping me safe. And those sentences, let them be gentle. Let them be honest. Honoring what that version of you was doing at that time. It was in survival mode. You're thanking yourselves. You're thanking yourself for that inauthentic part of you whose intention was to keep you safe. And this is done without shame, right? It's a protective mechanism so that you can feel a part of, or so that you don't feel disapproved of. So thank you for keeping me safe when I didn't say no when I should have said no. When I didn't want to go to that event and I went. Whatever it is for you. This is where we are learning our wisdom, our own inner wisdom. And you're just thanking that part of you that at that time didn't know any better. And if you can please go ahead and finish up that last sentence. And then the second part of this writing prompt is now to your most authentic self, the part of you that feels most alive, the most alive and true version of yourself, the one who's living their fullest truth. And I want you to write, starting with this prompt, I'm coming home. I'm coming home to you. And I want you to know. And what do you want them to know about you, this new, truly authentic self. I'm coming home to you. And I want you to know what? That you are safe, that it's okay to be you. What is it that you want to know from your true, fully alive, authentic self? Write about 2 sentences to that. I'm coming home. I'm coming home to you, and I want you to know. So after you've written those 2 sentences, I want you to just read the whole thing to yourself. Read what you wrote to your least authentic self, and then also read what you wrote of your authentic self. So read that a couple of times once you're finished. I'm coming home to you, and I want you to know. And we'll do about 1 more minute here. And as we're winding this writing prompt down, I have time for 2 quick shares at the mic about what you have learned from this writing prompt. If you have anything to share, if you could come up to the mic and share 2 quick thoughts about what you have learned about yourself from these writing prompts. Come on up, Patty.
Well, 2 things. Oh, 2 things. One from prior that whether I'm inauthentic or authentic,
Is it on?
I'm
Is it on?
Oh.
You can hear it? Okay.
that whether I'm being inauthentic or authentic, fear still comes up. But why not have bravery with the fear? And then the second thing, I have to share this one because I got a kick out of it, of that last thing about I'm coming home to you, and I want you to know that I need your support, your love, your acceptance, that I'm okay no matter what. And to coin a phrase, to infinity and back.
Yay. Oh, yes. One more. Janice, thank you.
I can see that I need to understand and arrive at a balance when I feel like holding back. It's like when somebody shows you who they are, believe them, that
Mhm.
sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So when that happens, do I retreat and not actually confront a situation because I feel like I've seen who they are and this is going to be as good as it's going to get and I
Mhm.
just need to retreat. So
Mhm.
there's that going on in my head, and then there's also that I want to know that I am transparent and that I was brave when I could have, when whatever I said could have resulted in growth for one or both of us. That's
Mhm.
hard to know.
Yeah, it's a dance for sure. And that's where your inner wisdom and your body wisdom come into place. Because if you listen to your body will tell you. Your body will tell you. And so you sit. So that's why being still and listening, meditation, just pausing, say, let me get back to you on that, so that you have a moment to step away and go within and to get your answers. Okay? All right. Let's take a breath. Come on, let's breathe in. You guys did good work. Exile. Let's give ourselves all a round of applause. Yes, good job, everyone. So we just we went deep here, and we just opened up some new thoughts, some new ideas. Facilitators, if you could pass out the homework cards, because we always have homework on Care Circle Sunday, because between now and the next time we meet, we can have some practices. So our quote is our Brene Brown quote on our homework card, which is, vulnerability is not winning. Oh, it says whining. I forgot. Maybe it's not. Vulnerability. Oh, that was a good one. Vulnerability is not whining or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. We have no control over the outcome. And that's the part where we take a breath and we pause and no whining. And their homework on the other side. So, your body knows the truth before your mind does. So this is a practice very similar to what we just did here, because that practice starts to show you, right? So you center yourself with 3 deep breaths, and you be open, and you ask, where am I performing instead of living my truth? And you write it down. And you say to your armored self, thank you for keeping me safe. And then to the true authentic self, I'm coming home to you. I want you to know. So the same practice. Give yourself a moment of compassion, love, or whatever your soul is needed as you start to look at these parts that are performing, that aren't quite true, your true nature. And you do it with love, you do it with compassion, and I guarantee you, if you do it on a daily basis, just pick one. Like at the end of the day, when you look back at your day, there was probably at least one area where you weren't your true self. At least one. And you just pick that one. And you write this homework practice on that one area with my spouse or with my boss. I la 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 la, and then you do this whole practice with it, and you start to have compassion for the one who's inauthentic, because there's nothing wrong, right? I want us to come from the place that there's not anything wrong with us. This is deep conditioning, okay? So that's why compassion is important, because with a lot of it we can't see it, but now we are going to see it now because of this time that we've had together. We will start to see it in our life, and so we practice compassion, and now we've opened up to a different choice. Now we've opened up. And so knowing what's important to you, which you've written down, knowing what you want, those will be your guidelines. Those will be your carrots. Those will be your signposts on what your decisions are that you want to make. Are we good? Awesome. Okay, very good. So now let's take another deep breath in and let it all go. So we've completed with our Care Circle time together. I appreciate you all and all of the work that you did in class today. And we're going to move into our time of giving. In our time of giving, we are going to have Cheryl and Janet. Is that right? Cheryl and Janet will be passing the baskets. And let us say this affirmation together. We give with open hearts to this community with shared commitment and purpose. As we give, we prosper, cultivating growth, connection, and shared abundance for all. Yes, indeed. All right, these are the different ways to give. We really appreciate all the ways that you give to our center of time, treasure, and talent. Greatly appreciate it. We cannot do it without you. So thank you. And as we close, I just want to remind you that the work that we've done today will start showing up. So just breathe through it, love yourself through it, and have compassion for yourself. So let's pray us out. We just know that this time here together has been, so good. as we have opened up to the nature of who we truly are. We've opened up to the God self for the reason that we have been brought here to this earth. We've opened up and been made aware of the conditioning that has been inherited, and and have been given new choices to choose our free, authentic self. And that we, as we choose it for ourselves, we help others choose it for themselves. And so I know this time is divine. I know that that health and wholeness and peace are the order of the day. And I know that our time as a community of connection, of love, and of growth and unfoldment is absolutely perfect and in perfect right order. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I release this prayer, we say together with enthusiasm, and so it is. Yes, indeed. Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.